Hi, Stoner Hill. It's Miss Pizarro. I have this book for you today. It's called Miss Twiggley's Tree. It's by Dorothea Warren Fox. This is my book. My mom saved for me when I was a little kid. I love this book. You're going to love it. So let's get ready. Here we go. Miss Twiggley's Tree by Dorothea Warren Fox. This is the tree. Funny Miss Twiggley lived in a tree with a dog named Puss and a color TV. She did what she liked, and she liked what she did. But when company came, I gotta get it right. Miss Twiggley hid. I'm trying to make sure you can see this book well. I think this is good. It's not that I do not like people, said she, but one gets a bit shy when one lives in a tree. I'm going to keep turning. This is better light for you. She named her dog Puss. He didn't mind that. My very best friend, he said, is a cat. Isn't he cute? Old Miss Twiggley was friendly with bears. They sat on the sofa, she said, but who cares? Here are the bears. They don't find me odd, and I'm grateful for that. I don't think they'd mind if I slept in my hat. And just to be sure, she slept in her hat. She slept in her hat, but she made up her bed. And she swept and she dusted until the bears said they were thoroughly tired of being so neat and refused when she asked them to hold up their feet. Okay, here's our picture. I'm trying to be sure you can see. Now Puss was clever, a smart dog indeed. He did the shopping for things they would need. Groceries, clothing, and tools for repairs, bones for himself, and jam for the bears. But whenever he shopped for Miss Twiggley's meals, the town dogs teased and snapped at his heels. So poor Puss shivered, as scared as could be, and he hurried back home to his safe and sound tree. Here we are, Puss and Miss Twiggley. Miss Twiggley and Puss were happy up there, high above ground, in a house in the air. Simply disgraceful, said people in town, to live in a tree and never come down. The wife of the mayor was maddest of all. To not be at home when I come to call is unforgivable. And besides that, here she is. Look at her. I have been told she sleeps in her hat. My husband must know of a town law, said she, against things of that kind going on in a tree. She marched to the mayor. Now what can you do? That house in the tree is spoiling our view. Miss Twiggley's a nuisance. No town should allow. Here's the mayor. A person to hang her wash on a bough. Now a bough, if you don't know it, is just a tree. I'm too close for you. A tree limb. So Miss Twiggley hangs her laundry on a tree limb because she lives in a tree. The smoke from her chimney is causing a smog, and she lives, so they say, with some bears and a dog. The poor mayor sighed. My dear, I agree, but more pressing problems are bothering me. The weather report says it's going to rain. I fear we are in for a wild hurricane. Uh-oh, this doesn't sound good, does it? And here's our picture on the next page of the rain. Let's see what happens. It did rain for a week and a month and a day. The wind blew a gale, that's a big wind, and the bridge washed away. The town was cut off, its people afloat, whatever went by, they used for a boat. Wait for the next picture. Now, in this picture, we see all these townspeople, and they have made boats out of things, and then this lady and man are standing on the roof of a house, and you see how high that water is. If the water is up to the roof of the house. And then what do we see in the background? Miss Twiggley's tree above the water. Let's find out what happens. The road and the meadow were one stormy sea, and right in the middle stood the house and the tree. We're on this page. Old Miss Twiggley had battened her hatches and checked her supply of tea and dry matches. String up some hammocks, she called to the bears. Push, you build platforms for spear beds and chairs. So in this picture, they're building platforms to put beds and chairs on. We may have some callers and wet ones at that. I'll go change the bows on my best sleeping hat. I'll get right to work on a big pot of stew to be sure there'll be plenty to feed quite a few. Now, here we are with the tree, and Puss with his telescope looking down. She put on the kettle and buttered some bread. Now let them all come. I'm ready, she said. They're coming, called Puss, who perched way up high, holding a spyglass close to his eye. Now, in this picture, we see these townspeople in whatever boat they have, and then here is Miss Twiggley's tree. Ahoy, called the mayor. Miss Twiggley, you-hoo, is there room in your house for a wet friend or two? There's room for you all, Miss Twiggley replied. Climb up where it's warm, come up and be dried. Now, check out this picture. I love this. Cat and kittens in a hat, pigs in their trough, which is what they feed out of. And then over here, people are coming up the tree. Okay? So, what happens? Let me get the pigs in the picture. Oh, scoot back. They hauled up the mayor and the chief of police and sweet Trudy Wilmot, the groceryman's niece. Pigs came in their trough. A wet mother cat arrived with her kittens aboard a straw hat. Dun, dun, dun. Puss and dogs. The dogs of the town came swimming right up. Big dogs and small dogs and one frisky pup. But plump Mrs. Honk was afraid of the stairs, and little Joe Pettibone didn't like bears. Okay, so here's little Joe Pettibone and Miss Twiggley and the bear. And let's see what happens. Don't fret, Mrs. Honk, Miss Twiggley said. You won't mind the height when you're tucked into bed. And Joe, my big bears are as tame as can be. They don't spill a crumb when I ask them to tea. I think this is supposed to be Mrs. Honk and the bear helping her. Okay, and then over here is someone we've seen before in a boat with a newspaper over her head. And the very last boat, bedraggled and wet, was the wife of the mayor, looking upset. She felt so ashamed of the words she had said when her hostess declared, "I fixed you my bed." How about that? And here it is. Miss Twiggley's new friends were cozy and warm, sheltered and fed, and out of the storm. Though the wind made the rain go splittery splat, the mayor's wife slept, safe and sound, in the hat. Now, right here, you see some hammocks where people are sleeping. And then on this page, everybody's having fun. So let's find out what happens. Old Puss, once so shy, forgot all his fear. The town dogs were fun. He was glad they were here. The people, pretended the house was like Noah's Ark. Sorry, I'm turning my page. They played games and sang till long after dark. That's so fun. And I didn't show you. This man has a banjo. And then the dogs are playing board games. Here we go. Now, town folk were glad, just as pleased as could be, that funny Miss Twiggley lived in a tree. And here's the tree with the rainbow over it, and the sun coming out from a cloud. And Miss Twiggley found out something wonderful, too. When emergencies come, you don't think about you. You help all you can, and you never ask why. Then the first thing you know, you forget to be shy. So, if you are somebody who's shy, think about Miss Twiggley and all the great things that happened to her because she got out of her shell and helped everybody in town. And then she had new friends. It's so nice. Hope you like that book.